Hi y'all, welcome back to my channel. This is Krissa with K3 Crafts, and I was going to come on today and just show a little technique that I had been wanting to learn, and I took a little class when we went on our cruise last week. They had some little art classes and they taught some calligraphy. And so what they did is they taught us all the different strokes, and then we practiced. We made what they called a little 6-month birthday calendar, practicing all the different strokes for the different letters. So I thought I would come on and show you what I learned. Maybe there's some others that have been wanting to learn how to do these kind of script calligraphy writing, and I'm very new at this. This is the first time that I had really practiced it, so I thought I'd just bring you along. I do have these Arteza brush tip markers, and so that's what we use. We didn't use these on the ship. They didn't have this particular brand, but it was definitely a brush tip marker. So if you have a brush tip marker, then that's what you will need. And so I'll just pick one of these. There's 48 markers, and so there's just all colors here in the box that comes with 48 different ones. And so let me pick a darker one that might help show up a little bit more as we're going through what I learned. And so the things that I learned on the different strokes, let's see if I can kind of zoom in here just a little bit there. So the first stroke that we learned was just the downstroke. And the downstroke uses the side of the marker instead of the very tip. And so, and the tip they also said is hold your marker more towards the middle of your pen. And I tell you, I have not used these markers in a while, and so they are, but you just do a little bit more pressure to get the wider stroke there. And one of the tips he also did say if you kind of start going a little bit and then straight down, and then when you end, kind of just a little bit of a stroke like towards the right or to the left, just to give a nice flare. And so see the different pressure. If I have a little bit harder pressure, it's a little bit wider stroke there. Or if it's less pressure, it's not as wide. So that's the first stroke, was a downstroke. The next one is the upstroke, and you hold it closer to the tip and hold your pen more straight up and very light pressure. And the lighter the pressure, the skinnier the stroke. And you just kind of curve up like this. So for example, if you're going to make an L would be actually an L is going to be a different stroke. This one would be like for an I, lowercase I. So you come up, and then you come down with your downstroke, and then pick up your pen and reposition and do your upstroke again. So again, it's the upstroke. Then switch to your downstroke, and then your upstroke again. So see, I still need lots of practice. But anyway, so that's kind of the basics of it. So you have the downstroke, your upstroke, then your overturn stroke is your upstroke and your downstroke kind of combined. And you can see that's kind of like the start of the letter A. So you do your upstroke, and then your downstroke. So you just kind of adjust. That's one thing I realized is on all your letters, usually when you're writing in cursive, you don't pick your pen up. But when you're doing all this calligraphy stuff, you pick your pen up depending on which direction you're going with your stroke of your letter. All right, and so that's the overturn stroke. Then you have your underturn, which kind of starts with the downstroke and then goes to the upstroke. So like the letter U or the letter V. So you start there, and you come up. And one thing he did say is just practice, practice, practice. And I haven't had a chance to practice since I did. It was just a little 1 hour little class on the cruise ship. All right, compound curves is an upstroke, a downstroke, and then end with another upstroke. So like the letter N. So you start with your up, come down with your downstroke, and then another upstroke. The oval stroke, it's like the letter O, but you do it in 2 different strokes. So you kind of start with a downstroke, but kind of curve it a little bit. And then you end with an upstroke. So again, you use the side of your brush and do your first kind of downstroke. And then use the tip of your pen to get the skinnier stroke. My marker's a little dry there. Ascending loop, up at an angle and then go down. So you start doing upstroke at an angle, like this. And then you do your downstroke. You can do like the full height like this, or you can even do like the little shorter, like the top of like the letter H. So you can start kind of up here and do your upstroke, and then do your downstroke. Do another one here, and then, or like the letter F. So it does combine a lot of your like cursive letters that you learned to draw as a child. Well, we did. My children never did take cursive in school. They quit teaching it, which I think was terrible, but they didn't ask me. So, but anyway. All right, so then we have the descending loop. So where you go down and then up. So like an F or a J, your Y. So the descending loop, you go down, and then you come up. And with the Y, you do your down, and down again, and then do your, that one wasn't very good. So I went too far with my downstroke there. Should have stopped and then started my skinnier one. But so they're all just these basic strokes here, and this, the way you combine them is for all the different letters. And when you can use those upstrokes to connect your letters. And then on this A, he did like an upstroke, an angled downstroke, and upstroke to join that. So just to show you, kind of did an up like this, then the down, and then the up again. So here is the example that I did on my birthday calendar. We wrote January, February, March, and so he showed us how we could join the letters, how we joined them with those little upstroke there. And so that's kind of what I learned. So I'll just practice here with the June. So we started start with an upstroke here, then change to the downstroke. This marker's not, I pushed too hard is what I did on that J. The upstroke, and then we have a down. Pick your pen up, then do like the little upstroke here, and then another down. Then we have the upstroke here, and then down, and then upstroke. So it just takes a lot of practice. So it's a lot of picking up your pen, which I tell you, I'm not used to much. There we go. So anyway, just I come on and share the little calligraphy strokes that I learned on the ship. So it was something new that I had always wanted to try, and I didn't know about the different types of strokes. So there are 8 different strokes. And so there they are. I kind of made note of those, and so I hope you give them a try and see what you come up with and in this pretty script font. So I definitely need a lot more practice, but it was fun. So thank you so much for watching and coming back to my channel, and y'all have a wonderful day. God bless.